All right, guys, so today I'm going to do something I've been getting a lot of questions about, is the main differences between the Curado K200 and the Curado K300, which is the newest edition. So I'm going to try to break down exactly what these reels have and where their application is best suited. So let's start with the Curado K200. The Curado K200 has been a staple for a bunch of years now. Curado in general has been a staple forever in the Shimano lineup. And now it is without a doubt the most extensively built lineup of low profile baitcasters Shimano has. From the 70 MGL, which was released this year, to the 150 DC, to the 200K, which has been out for a few years, and now the 300K, the Curado family has you covered basically everywhere. Now, the features of the Curado K200, the big things: Hagane all-metal body, so very rigid, very firm body. Micro-module gearing, the main gear was brought down from Metanium and Antares, that micro-module gear, which is, smaller teeth, more transition of power, more smoothness. SVS Infinity braking, so it's got that outside adjustable dial with the race that goes in and out, so on the fly you can adjust without taking off your side plate. S3D spool and the super free spool. It also has X-Ship, which is a double bearing supported pinion gear. Again, these are all things that are going to make this reel last an incredibly long time. And then cross carbon drag, so 11 pounds of drag pressure. What people don't know about the Curado K200 is that more recently they released a PG version, a power gear. So that's a 5-to-1 that brings in 21 inches of line per handle turn. There is also a 6.2-to-1 which brings in 26 inches of line per handle turn, a 7.4-to-1 that brings in 31 inches of line per handle turn, and then the XG, which is the 8.5-to-1, which brings in a whopping 36 inches of line per handle turn in a very, very small package. This reel, $179.99, and for line capacity, which is the main difference is size and line capacity, this is going to hold 80 yards of 65-pound Power Pro. When it comes to the Curado K300, the newest release, the big differences: the size, obviously. When it comes to weight, the Curado K200 weighs in at 7.6 and 7.8 ounces. The Curado K300 is 3 ounces exactly heavier. So it's 10.6 and 10.8 ounces respectively. There's only 2 gear ratios available in this, but you'll see with the inches of line per handle turn how that plays. There's a 4.7 and a 6.6-to-1. The 4.7 brings in 25 inches of line per handle turn. The 6.6 brings in 35 inches of line per handle turn. So almost equivalent to the XG or the 8.5-to-1 model in the Curado K200. The reason being, bigger spool, bigger gear, more inches of line per handle turn. You don't need that same high ratio. This reel was developed as a torque monster. It's meant to make throwing those hard digging heavy baits easier for you, the angler. So if you're a glide bait thrower, or an A-rig thrower, or those big deep 20-foot crankbaits that are nasty, they pull super hard, this reel is going to make it effortless for you. Other features that are similar to Curado K200 are the Hagane body, that all-metal body, the S3D spool, the super free spool, X-Ship, cross carbon drag, which kicks out 18 and 22 pounds of drag for those bigger fish, especially redfish or stripers. It's going to be able to handle all of that. And like the Curado K200, also those SARB, shielded anti-rust bearings, are part of this reel. But what are the differences between these two reels? Well, the main one is in casting, is that this one does not have SVS Infinity. The Curado 300 actually comes with VBS, the original 6-pin braking system, which works incredibly well. The other thing you'll find out when you go through the stats is that it doesn't have micro-module gear, that smaller tooth fine gear, but this does have the HEG brass gear that Shimano has done Tranks with and a bunch of other reels. So when you get the same gearing as Tranks or other reels, you know it's built to take punishment. So this reel is really developed for that. Micro-module is not part of it when comparing it to 200K. When it comes to price, obviously a little bit of a difference, but not much. $179.99 for the Curado 200K, $199.99 for the 300K. So really, at the end of the day, if you're going to compare a Curado K200 to a Curado K300, it's the size, it's about throwing big, heavy, hard digging baits, it's about line capacity. Other than that, these reels are very, very similar outside of SVS Infinity braking and micro-module gearing. So really, between all the Curados on the market, there's no excuse. They have really something for everyone.